What is up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be putting a sub and amp in this 2013 Jeep Wrangler. Yes, on a factory head unit at that. So you want to stick around and stay tuned. Let's roll that beautiful beam footage. Get in a car like this and smile, there's something wrong with you. Again, fam, welcome back to the channel. Yes, today we are putting a system in this 2013 Jeep Wrangler, subs and amp. Now, the factory head unit is going to be left alone. Now, I know there's plenty of head units out there. You can go to Buddy Bezos and pay $100 and have a fairly nice head unit, or you could spend thousands of dollars and have pretty much the same head unit. But it doesn't matter because we all use our cell phones. Our cell phones are used to stream regardless. It's all interconnected to our cell phones. So what does it really matter? This Jeep Wrangler radio has pretty much everything I need it to do. So all but RCA jacks. But we'll get to that in just a minute. So right now I'm going to walk you through just a little bit. We'll put pictures and videos up as we go, but I want to show you just a little bit of how this goes. So let's get to it. What I have decided to do, and each to their own, I am going to go through the driver's side over here behind the brake booster. There's a little grommet, and I'll show you guys here in a second. I'm going to run it through there and down the inside and along the trim panels on the inside. Reason I decided to do it here instead of over on the passenger side is because if you decide to go doorless, you're going to have a wire that's sticking, a big blue wire, red, whichever color you decide, you're going to have a wire that's running right through here, bright and right in the way. So this way it'll be out of the way and not visible over on this side. Take your coat hanger and your wire, put them side by side together, and then tape them up with the electrical tape. Not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but we're going to try. We're going to go right down here, and right here is the grommet that I was talking about. That is for what's your clutch. If you have an automatic, this is not going to hurt anything, but your clutch stuff generally goes through this for your 5-speed, 6 speeds, whatever they are. And you want to push this through. Once you've got it pushed through the little grommet, come to the underside of the Jeep and the inside, find out where it pushed through at, which would be right there. It's coming through. Right there it is. Right up there is your grommet. So make sure you're not hurting anything and just pull this through. Just take this wire and run it underneath these trim panels all the way into the back of the Jeep. Now that I realize that I'm going to have more than enough cable, I cut off about 8 inches from this, and this is from the back side where my amp's actually going to plug into. And I'll show you what I've done with it. Here is my connection to my other fuse block. Now if you get the skaraudio amp kit, it will come with all the proper connectors and everything. You won't have to try to hunt and find and search. It'll come with everything that you need. But like I said, I cut off about 8 inches of it and spliced her in. So all I have to do now is hook it into my hot and I'll be set on that. But don't do that yet. Get the rest of your stuff in the vehicle before you do even remotely even hook this stuff up, because you don't want anything grounding out or any kind of sparks flying or unnecessary stuff that will burn down your vehicle. On your Jeep Wranglers, you will have a spot on your fuse box up front that says heated seats, okay? My Jeep has heated seats, but it does not have heated rear seats. Go to that spot, look for that spot. It will not have a fuse in it unless your Jeep just has rear heated seats, which you'll have to find another one at that point, another spot. But if your Jeep does not have rear heated seats, go to this spot in the fuse block, get you a 20 amp fuse, and take your remote wire, run it through the firewall, the same place that you run your big hot wire through, run it through the same place, exactly the same way, and run it into this fuse block. That way you have a known for sure when your key's turned on, your amp comes on. When your key is turned off, your amp is off. Now you can take apart the dash. I have done research and I have done a lot of looking. You can take apart your dash and you can for sure go to the cigarette lighter in your dash. It is also keyed on and off, but I did not want to take my dash apart. I didn't want to go that route and do all of that. So this is what I've done. Like I said, the remote wire is coming around through here, the same exact spot as the main hot, and it's coming in here and going right into this fuse block right there, which would be rear heated seats. Hey, if it works, is it a bad idea? It's still fused and it's not going to burn your Jeep down, and it turns on and off. So that's a win. I've got the factory stereo system still up here. I'm not going to go aftermarket, maybe later, but not just yet. They do make a amplifier adapting kit for Chrysler products. I'll put up on the screen or put up down in the description, but it's a SNI 35, I believe. I got it from Amazon. It is not here yet, but I'm going to walk you through what the steps are as of right now. It should be here today or tomorrow, so I'm trying to get a head start, if that makes any sense. So either way, as many of you may know, these come factory with a sub in them. Now it's not much, but it's a little bit of a something. It's actually an Alpine, and to be honest, I mean, it's junk really, but I was actually surprised about how big the magnet actually is on this little speaker. And for what it is, it sounds decent. What is that, a 6, 8, something like that? But it's just not enough. With that SNI adapter, you're able to leave all of this stuff that's in here, actually unhook the sub and splice into these. And what it does, it puts RCA jacks at the end of these. That way you can plug the RCA jacks into your amp. Now, you will have to take your sub out. You will have to take this little box off. It's not that hard. You pull the, 6 screws out of this, pull your sub out, unhook, just unclip these, pull the 2 screws out down here at the bottom. There will be a little clip up here, a little backing part that snaps all this together. You'll pull it off and set it off to the side. Matter of fact, it's right here. It's just the back side of this. You'll unclip it, and in behind all of this will be, right there will be a 10 millimeter nut. You will untake, you'll loosen it off, then you'll remove this whole section and it will come out as an assembly. Just like I know so. It's going to be a little hard to see without all the stuff here, but that little box is going to have wires coming out the end of it, and those wires have actually got to connect to these speaker wires. Okay, in order to do that, I'm either going to have a big gaping hole here where that sub is, or I'm going to have wires just laying out, and it's going to look unprofessional. It's just going to look nasty, and I want it clean looking. I want it to look like that it came from the factory that way, because I'm going to put the original sub back in its spot, even though it's probably not going to be hooked back up, but at least it's there. Put everything back to where it belongs and everything. So what I've decided is, I believe I'm going to put a little hole right here in the side of this, and I'm going to put a little rubber grommet in it, like so. Now you're asking yourself, how are you going to do that? Well, very simple. I'm going to take this and I'm going to heat it up, and I'm gonna punch it through right where I want it to go. And what that'll leave is a nice little hole that I can put my grommet in, run my wires through. Then it looks factory. It doesn't look all messy and nasty, and well, I'll just show you. How about that? And even though this isn't fitted back in, you have a perfectly round hole with a grommet in it with a wire coming out, which there'll be several wires. Like I told you guys in the beginning, I probably was not going to use my subwoofer back here, but I've decided that I am going to use it. So I want to keep these plugs intact. I'm going to have to go back so far and cut and resplice. Reason being, hold on now, listen to me here. Each one of these plugs are its own channel. This is a left channel, this is the right channel, okay? This box has its RCA plugs. So if you're running a factory radio, factory head unit like I am, as you know, they don't have RCA jacks in the back. This makes it so that you have RCA jacks. It's also got its own little level inputs, so you can adjust those left and right channels to get it perfect to your needs. But what I'm going to show you right here, we're going back to this now. We're going to jump around a little bit. Like I said, each one of these are its own channels. Green, remember this guys, green will be your negative, gray will be your positive. Now with this, anything with a black line on it will be your negative. So your white with a solid line and white, just all white, that's one channel. And then your gray solid with a gray black stripe will be another channel. Now these brown wires here do not get used for this specific application. These are for negative. We don't need those. So let me try to simplify this for you. Your Jeep will have two channels. Both of those channels will have gray and green wires. Your gray being positive, green being negative. On your box, your pack SNI 35 box that you will be receiving, the brown will not get used at all. So mark those out of your mind completely. You'll have a white solid and you'll have a white with a black line. That white solid will go to the gray wire on your Jeep. The white with the black line obviously is a negative, so it will go to the green side on your Jeep. That will complete one channel. Then on your second channel on your box, the gray solid will go to the gray on your Jeep. The gray with the black will go to the green on the Jeep, which will be the negative. And this will make two channels. Like I said, do not use the brown wires. Tape them up, do whatever you have to do, but they do not get used on these Jeep Wranglers. Here is the finished product. As you can see, it's hooked in to the battery, the skaraudio wiring kit. No, I don't have it all zip tied up yet up here, but the rest is finished. It runs around the firewall and down into what would be if you had a clutch. If your Jeep was a standard shift Jeep, your clutch pedal and all your reservoir and stuff will go into that. There's a grommet down there, and the reason I ran it through there was one, for water issues, and two, because it's got a grommet. You don't ever know where you're going to take your Jeep. If I decided to run it on the passenger side, the wire was going to be exposed a little bit if I had the doors off, and that may not bother you. That bothered me, so I decided to go over this way. I ran it up and down like I showed you before. Comes up and down and around. You may have to pull this little push pin right here in order to get your trim up just a little bit to get the wire through there, but it was no issue. Run it up and around. Come to the back, run it up. I come up through my carpet and ran it round behind my seat and in behind my seat. Excuse this is bungee cord because I don't like these headrests and you can't pull them out. That's a story for another day. But everything is wired up and ready to go. Now you're asking yourself, okay, you're running a stock head unit. This box is a life changer. This right here is what controls for your RCAs to run into your amp. It also has volume controls on it because listen, it comes cranked up. You're going to have to turn them down. You're going to have to get them to your likings because if not, well, let's just say that and this, yeah, it can blow your subs. So you want to adjust everything down before you even get started. Okay, you guys seen where I put the hole back here for the wires and run the little grommet through for my wiring. We are running two 1800 watt planetaudio subs, sorry guys, with a kicker 750 by 1 amp. But you guys seen how I hooked this up. Like I said, these are two different channels, channel 1 and channel 2, and yes, I am going to put the subwoofer, the factory one, back in here. It's going to work. It's going to give me probably the mids that I need along with the lows. So I showed you how to hook these up, and that gave you your RCA. There you go, fam. I hope that helps somebody out. Pack SNI 35 and also skaraudio wiring kit from Amazon. Yes, Amazon. I know Amazon's dropped the ball in a lot of certain spots, especially in their delivery department, because they give you one date and it ends up being like 4 and 5 days later. But regardless, you still can't beat the prices. You just can't. And I've seen a lot lately here on the Jeep forums about people wanting to know actually how to hook up a stereo system in their Jeep with, you know, just using the factory radio. So that was a week ago. I even posted on a Jeep site, just give me one more week, let me get it edited out, and I got you all the video. Something I was planning on doing just as soon as I got this Jeep, and I got it done, guys. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's helped somebody out, and you know the deal. Like always, like, share, and subscribe. Go across the street over there, tell your neighbors, get on the phone, call your loved ones and tell them, hey, come to Bad LSX Garage, check this old boy out. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. You know it. Like always, peace. I'm out.